but it's worth it. It's all about community. Spirituality is important. Poca speaks. This shit is not easy, but it's worth it. Poca speaks. This shit is not easy, but it's worth it. It's all about community. Spirituality is important. PocaSPEAKS.
All right, hello, my loves. Welcome to another live video. We're about to go ahead and get into our Higher Wisdom Wednesdays. Before I get started, of course, there's a couple announcements and things that I have to get out of the way. First off, if you're watching from YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know whenever I go live or post any new content, okay? Memberships are available on YouTube. The cheapest one starts at like $3 or $4.99. You get access to extended readings as well as custom membership videos as well. Okay. On the 21st of November, I will be doing a birth chart and zodiology seminar. You will receive a free birth chart for those who do not have one, but we'll be getting into the specifics of how to read your birth chart, understanding it, understanding all 12 of the zodiacs and how that plays a part in your personal birth chart. And I'll be going over a lot of other information that has to do with understanding your birth chart or understanding how zodiology plays a part in it. So if you are interested, all of my information is going across the bottom of the screen. You can email me or you can shoot me an inbox. All of my socials are in the description of this video. Of course, life coaching services, mentorship services, counseling services, all of those different things are still available. I do have some specials going on right now as well for healing services. So if you are interested, make sure that you reach out the same way, either via email or personal social media. Readings are also available. The special right now is for the let me put my phone on fucking do not disturb. Um, the special right now is for the new moon. Okay, I still am doing 11/11 readings for those who are interested as well. And then these specials are still available as well. Okay, so now we got that off the way. Let's go ahead and get into this topic. So this is something that I've been wanting to kind of touch on for a while. This is a topic that I feel like is very important, and it is something that is very useful on this journey. Is very necessary on understanding how to detach, how to walk away, how to leave things behind. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. When I talk about the art of detachment, this is not something that I want y'all to just be using on people, to be manipulative or, for any of those reasons, any, negative reasons or anything like that. This is more so knowing when it's time to walk away, and then giving you some tools and different things that you can do to separate from those people, places, or things when it is that time to go ahead and separate. Okay. So first of all, what's important before even, learning how to separate or putting, trying different methods on separating, it's important to first know what you need to be separated from. Okay. So before we can detach, we have to first become aware. So awareness is the first thing. What or who around me do I need to detach from? What or who no longer serves my highest good? What environments are no longer for me? Being able to figure out this information again is the first step, because if we don't know what we're separating from, then we don't know what methods we need to use in order to get the job done. Okay? So the first thing I would ask myself is, what in my life is no longer benefiting me? Whether this is people, whether this is environments, whether this is mentalities, whether this is, ideologies, morals, values, standards, boundaries, whatever it may be. When we talk about detachment, it's not just from people, okay? It's from anything that no longer serves your highest good, anything that is no longer helping you to move forward or to better yourself, or something that is no longer beneficial to you, okay? Now, this is the thing. Sometimes things start off being beneficial to us, and then it runs its course. Okay. So some situations, we shouldn't be attached to at all, and we get attached to these things, because of either trauma bonds, or, where we were mentally at that time, or whatever the case is. Okay. But then there are some things that we are supposed to, for a period of time, be attached to, not long term, but for a period of time, in order to learn something or in order to get something done. Okay. So it's twofold. Sometimes it's knowing when to avoid certain things completely, and then sometimes it's knowing when to let go when things have run its course. Okay? So those are two different perspectives we're going to be talking from today. So let's talk about when you are connecting with things that you shouldn't have connected with in the beginning. Now, I tell y'all all the time, and I probably sound like a broken record, everything starts with shadow work. The more you start healing, the more you start tapping in and building that relationship with yourself, the more you start understanding who you are. And when you know who you are, you know what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. Another thing about when you know who you are, and this is what we talked about yesterday, so definitely go tune into the video for Topic Tuesdays that we did yesterday. It's going hand in hand. But when you know who you are, you also know who should and shouldn't be around you. Period. A lot of the relationships that we have, gotten into, or fell into, or stumbled upon, or built, um until we get to a place of healing, are usually through trauma, right? So when we have this false idea of self, when we don't know exactly who we are, we don't know what we're supposed to be doing, where we're supposed to be going, the things we're supposed to be intertwined with, then we find ourselves anywhere with anybody doing anything. Okay, so it's important for you guys to pay attention to, number one, figuring out who you are. Because once you know that you are really a god, you'll start to move like one. Once you know that you are really an empress, you'll start to move like one. Once you know that you're really, a high vibrational spirit, then you'll start to treat yourself as such. We treat ourselves the way we see ourselves. Okay, so if you see yourself as being ain't shit, you're going to allow ain't shit people around you, or you're going to end up in ain't shit places. It's that simple. Okay? So we stumble into these connections because of a false idea of self, because we don't, again, know exactly who we are or what we're supposed to be doing. So we just go with what we know. And usually the thing that we know is trauma. So this is why we build a lot of bonds connecting with people through traumas. Building these relationships with people simply off of the common shared trauma, the common shared pain, the common shared negative experience. Okay? Now, sometimes will you meet people who are beneficial to you through shared experiences? Absolutely. But if you look around your life and the only people that you've connected with are people that, these connections came through traumas or conversations about what y'all went through, then we kind of see a pattern here, and that's when we know that there's different things that we need to start doing. Okay? So, getting to a place where you've already made these bonds, right? You've already created these bonds with these people. You already created these relationships. Now you're in these relationships and you're starting to realize this is not it. something is off here. Things are not running smoothly. There's always some type of drama or some type of back and forth, or there's always some type of issue or problem. You start to realize that these connections become problematic. And you may have some good times sprinkled here and there, but for the most part, it seems like it's always some issues, it's always some drama, it's always a problem, it's always this going on or that going on, or it's this repetitive, just roller coaster of just all over the placeness. Okay. So when you get to that point and you start to realize that you're having more bad experiences than good experiences with these people, that's a telltale sign that it's time to detach. Okay. Sometimes we'll get to that place and we think, okay, we need to do something else to make it work. We think that this is a time for us to breathe more fresh breath into this already dead situation, and that's not it. So this is where we get to a point of, when do I walk away? When do I detach? Well, the first thing is, you detach when you realize things are more negative than they are positive. That's one of the number one telltale signs. Okay? Sometimes we can be so used to toxicity that we don't even realize that we are in a toxic situation that's not changing and that has never gotten better, because we're so used to it. Again, trauma bonds, right? So this is going back to childhood. This is going back to those, ages where you were growing up and the environments that you were growing up in. If you were raised in an environment that was always toxic, then you're not going to really see anything wrong, necessarily with what's going on. Okay, at least not at first. This is why, we eventually kind of wake up and smell the coffee, way later on into the situation, the relationship, or whatever the case is. Because when we first get into it, we're so used to toxic environments, we're so used to toxic energy, we're so used to toxic, relationships and conversations and everything else, that we don't even see that anything is really wrong with this. This just feels like home. Okay, so we get comfortable in this toxic ass environment until one day, right? Usually you are exposed to something different. Whether it's you go to a different environment, whether you read something, whether you watch a video on something, whether you just intuitively feel something, something changes to where you realize, I don't have to stay in this energy, or there is something wrong with this energy. Okay, that's usually when we kind of wake up and we start paying attention. Now this is, it kind of is a process, right? You kind of start off just going with the flow in this toxic situation, and then eventually you get to a place where you start to pay attention a little bit. You start to notice things that you probably didn't notice before. You're picking up on things that you didn't pick up on before, and then one day everything is different. One day everything changes. One day everything looks different, feels different. One day you're just looking at everything from a whole different lens, a whole new perspective. When you get to that point, that is your opportunity to move. Some of us get to that point and we feel like, or we basically try to tell ourselves or convince ourselves that that's not what we're feeling, or that we're picking up on something, or that we need to go harder, or we read it the wrong way. Okay, when you get to that point, babe, it's time to go. All right, it's time to go ahead and get out of there, because your energy has already shifted. And what you're about to do is you're about to keep yourself stagnant. Okay, our energy shifts before us. Your higher self is always a couple steps ahead of you, which is why you feel the shift internally before you actually make a move. For example, my women who are tuned in, we know that we leave relationships mentally before we leave them physically, right? Why? Because the energy don't lie. When the energy shift, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. So you may stay in that relationship for another year and a half. You may put up with that person or try to put up with that person for another 6 months, but you've already mentally, emotionally, spiritually checked the fuck out. Same thing that happens with you, just within any situation. This can be within a friendship, this can be within a romantic relationship, this can be within a job space, this could be within anything. Okay, it works the same for men as well in other situations. Okay, but you check out emotionally, you check out spiritually, you check out energetically before you physically move. Okay, so a lot of the times, again, we're not going with our energy, the way that we feel, we're going with what we want. We're going with the image or the dream or the future we've created in our head. And we want to try to keep going and try to keep making it work, because why? Old habits die hard. That's your comfort zone, right? Sometimes our comfort zone is just being toxic. Why? Because we know how to deal with toxic. We was raised on toxic. We was brought up around toxic. We understand toxic. Toxic understand us. We get it. We know that we can expect negativity when it comes to toxic, right? So sometimes it's just comfortable for us to be disappointed. We like situations where we continuously disappointed because we know how to deal with disappointment. We've been around disappointment for so long. We become familiar with the energy of disappointment or the energy of toxicity. So because of that, we get comfortable and we just like, okay, cool, you know? But when you get to a space where you can no longer physically, emotionally deal with it, and you get to the space, it's like a crossroad. Okay? You either force yourself to stay in this toxic environment and you basically just drive yourself crazy. Okay? Because nothing is changing, nothing is going to change. So you're just going crazy. Okay? Or you remove yourself. Okay? And this is when we get into the art of detachment. All right? Now, for those situations where, those people are beneficial to us, even sometimes the situations that we accidentally get into are also beneficial to us, right? Everything is a lesson. It just all depends on how you look at it, right? I really feel like everything is beneficial, whether I accidentally got into it, whether I got into it on purpose, whether I took the wrong road and stumbled into it. Whatever it is, there's a lesson in everything. Okay, so once you get to this place where you see, I need to detach, I need to walk away, I need to remove myself, okay, from this energy, from these people, from these places, from these things, okay, this is where the hard part comes, because now you have to be consistent, right? Now, what we usually do is we say that we're done. We physically move, we mentally move, we emotionally move, all of that, right? But because that is our comfort zone, sometimes we keep those things within reach, right? So this is when you need to block people and you don't block them. This is when you need to go ahead and move out completely. Okay, this is when you need to go ahead and completely let the situation go. Completely break it off with this person and go no contact. Right? This is when you quit. This is when you literally detach. Okay? Don't tease yourself with this. If you know that it's something that you have been struggling with for a while and it's taking you a while to even let go of it, don't tease yourself with it. You got to cut it completely off. That's the first step, is to completely detach. Cut all ties. Delete the numbers, block the people on social media, leave the job, send in your resignation, make it official, do whatever you need to do to completely detach. That is the first step. You got to get the fuck away. You got to get that shit far away from you. Far away from you. Yes, it is the hardest part. You're absolutely right. That is the hardest part. You're absolutely right. But it's the first step. The first step is usually the hardest one. I tell y'all all the time, once you get past the first step, everything else is a breeze. You just have to know that you are strong enough to take that first step. Okay? You got to completely let that shit go. A lot of y'all want to still look at the social media every now and again. Okay? A lot of y'all want to still ride around the corner and go past their house and check in and act like you just checking in. Oh, how's your mom? Oh, how's the kids? You got to detach. Now, in certain situations, oh, what's going on? Okay, there we go. In certain situations, sometimes you do have to keep connection. So, for example, if it's a, baby daddy, baby mama situation, right? In those situations, there still has to be some type of level of communication because you still have a child, right? Now, those are the hardest types of situations where you still have to be in some part in communication with that very person that you're trying to detach from. This is when boundaries come into play. All right. Now, the thing about boundaries is boundaries have consequences, and you got to stand on your 10 when it comes to your boundaries. Okay. You got to stand on your 10. If there are certain things that cannot be done For example, if you need to go complete no contact with this person, let's say you're in a situation, where you have a person that you have a child with, and you have to stay in some type of communication with this person because you're co-parenting, but this person is toxic. Maybe every time they come around, y'all argue, y'all fight, y'all fuss, whatever the case is. In these situations, this is when you have to include a middleman. Okay, sometimes you just gotta include a middleman. Get somebody you trust, a best friend, or somebody who is down for you, a mutual middle person. Okay, because sometimes you can't have no communication with that person. It's just toxic. Okay, get you a middleman. Sometimes you gotta get the courts involved. Now, I personally don't like courts being involved in situations. I feel like it makes it worse. Okay, I feel like two adults should be able to come together and figure some shit out. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes you are not parenting with the person who is a fucking adult. Okay, sometimes you had a kid with a child and they want to act like a fucking 2-year-old, right? So you can't do adult shit with them because they're childish. In those situations, you have to do the things you don't want to do. Sometimes the only option is doing the things that you don't want to do, right? This shows how committed you are to your own peace. This shows how committed you are to actually getting some type of changes, some type of, elevation in your life, some type of progress. You got to go ahead and do the tough shit. If you got to pay them lawyer fees, you got to pay them lawyer fees. I'd rather pay them lawyer fees for my peace than to get locked up fucking around with this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And this is when you get into a place where, number one, you are maturing. Okay? Because based on our childhood, sometimes we're still children, having children, no matter how old we are. And even if you don't have children, sometimes we're still in that childlike mentality. Period. And sometimes we just go backwards. Nobody said you're not trying, but sometimes you just go with what you know. And if all I know is to cuss your motherfucking ass out or to put my hands on you, sometimes that's where I go. But is that good? No. Is that beneficial? No. So at that point, you have to make a sacrifice. Am I going to continue to sacrifice my freedom because we old enough to get locked the fuck up for a good long time, okay? And most of us is black. If you're watching this, you're damn sure melanated. Okay, they like to lock us up for fun. We make them a lot of money when we show up in their prisons. Okay, so we have way too much to lose at this point. And you have to understand that. This goes back to knowing yourself. See, when I know that I'm a god, I know that I got too much to lose. I can't be fucking around with you. I can't fuck around with you. I can't be out here playing games with you. I can't be out here going back and forth with your motherfucking ass. Right? But I have to know that I am that in order to have that attitude about myself. I have to know that I am that in order to protect myself to the utmost. Right? Because if in my head, if I'm treating myself as a peasant because I have peasant mentality, the God in me will forever suffer. The God in me is going to suffer because I don't want to make the sacrifice. The God in me is going to suffer because I don't want to do the work to go inward to figure out who the fuck I am to begin with. Right? And this is the thing. You have to also be in a position where you forgive yourself for not knowing better. A lot of us did not know better. We didn't come from households that taught us to stay away from these type of people and to stay away from these type of people and to, don't get intertwined with these people and let this person go. And no, a lot of us was raised around people who was also toxic. They had toxic mentalities, toxic situations and relationships. Some of us grew up in households where we seen people get beat on or sexually assaulted or cussed the fuck out or whatever the case is, arguing back and forth all day, no peace, right? So we didn't have the tools that we needed in order to stay away from certain energies or to even be able to identify that we are in the presence of certain energies because those energies were familiar to us. Right? So this is why you have to get into a place where you have to relearn yourself the way that you should have been learning when you were growing up. Okay? This is when we become our own teachers. You got to be able to teach yourself. Tell yourself, hey, look, okay, yeah, we grew up in this type of household. Yeah, shit was like this and shit was like that. Yeah, things was fucked up and messed up. Yeah, but Now I know that things should not be like this. Now I've experienced enough life to know that this is not how things are supposed to go. Now I'm aware to where I know that the way I grew up was not normal. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow because that's all we know. What you mean y'all don't argue and that's not normal to argue all day? What you mean when y'all have a conversation and y'all talking y'all problems out, y'all don't cuss each other out? And sometimes we even fuck up good relationships with people or good connections because of those old ways that have been instilled into us that we have not changed. I tell you all the time, it's not your fault that you were traumatized, but it is your fault that you stay traumatized. It's not your fault that you have to heal, but it is your fault if you don't. At some point, this is when we got to take accountability, right? And before we can detach and before we can move on, we got to first know who the fuck we are so that we know exactly what needs to be removed. Once I know that I'm a god, I can spot the peasants. But as long as I think that I'm a peasant, I don't see nothing wrong with the people that I'm around. I think that they me and I'm them. Why? Because I have convinced myself that that's what it is. So until I unlearn the bullshit, I'm going to continue to stay around and stick around low vibrational people, places, and things because I cannot tell the difference between me and them. Who cares how other people see me? Other people can, and this is what usually happens, right? Before you woke up, before you realized you was a god and you was popping and all this other shit, right? There have been people in your life who try to tell you that you shouldn't act like that. That's not you. You shouldn't do that. You better than this. You shouldn't be in those type of situations, right? Spirit has sent us people who has tried to wake us up and tell us who we are because they can see the true us. Baby, you shouldn't act like that. Why you talking like that? Why you acting like that? Why you treating people like that? Why you do that? Why you around these people? You too smart to be around these type of people. Even dating back to childhood, we can remember having certain adults or people who are older than us come tell us like you shouldn't be hanging out with those people. That's not even your field. You so much smarter than that. But because we were so used to toxicity, we wanted to fit in, we wanted to have friends, we wanted to be like the people around us, or we thought that the things around us was good. We didn't want to hear that shit. That wasn't popping. What you talking about? Those are my friends. I used to tell my mama that shit all the time. It was other adults I can remember back in elementary school. And I would be hanging out with certain little girls and they'd be like, baby, you too smart to be hanging out with them people. And I'd be like, them is my friends. You don't even know them like that. Like, you're judging them. Okay, I was team friend. Okay, I'm like, you're not about to come for them. What are you talking about? That's my family, sandbox. What are you talking about? I know them since we was in kindergarten. Them is my people. Like, what are you saying? What are you trying to say? You trying to say my people are stupid or something? Like, what you trying to say? Whole time they saw in me what I didn't at that point see in myself. And this happens so often. We take it as offense because a lot of us are used to not being defended. So we're going to defend because that's what we want. We become what we want in return. So the relationships that we build, we stay loyal because we wanted loyalty. We hear those people out because we always wanted to be heard. We defend those people with our life because we always wanted to be defended with our life. Or what's about somebody else's life. Right? We don't abandon them because we've been abandoned and we know how that shit feels. So we start to treat people the way that we want to be treated, no matter if that person is good or bad. And that's not okay. Because now you're giving your good vibrations, your high vibrations, your good energy to motherfuckers who don't deserve it. And you're not getting anything in return. It's not a mutual exchange. So you're giving to people who can't give back to you, and then you find yourself dry. And this is when eventually down the road, because the road looks different for everybody. Sometimes it's 6 months in. Sometimes it's a year in for some people. Some people will take years. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 20, 30, 40 years. Until you wake up and you realize, God damn, I ain't received shit. What the fuck do I have to show for this long ass dedication and loyalty that I done been showing to this motherfucker? What do I have to show? What have they done for me in this same amount of time? You know, what have I been given in this same amount of time? I'm looking at the timeline and it's not clicking. What's going on? What's happening? Okay? We get to that point where we again, you wake up. It's that moment where you wake up. You energetically feel something that's different. Now you starting to pay attention. Hold up. Now, damn it, I done been giving to you the last 24 years. Fuck. I've been doing for you the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I'm just starting to look at it and then shit ain't adding up. Right? And then we get to a place where now we want to have all these conversations. When you get to that place where now you want to talk to that person, okay, we need to talk. And they like, about what? You bring up the stuff and they looking at you like, you've been holding on to this for all these years. Now they mad at us because they like, why the fuck you ain't been saying something? Now you want to bring up some old shit. Because we've been holding all of this stuff, not paying attention to it. Energetically, you've been holding on to it. But mentally, consciously, you ain't been paying attention. You haven't been paying attention. So to these people, you bringing up some old shit. Girl, that happened in 2018. What the fuck is you talking about? Why is you bringing up some shit? I thought we was past that. But you were never past it. You just ignored it. It was never okay. You just ain't speak up. You always had a problem with it, but you was just so used to toxicity, you accepted it and just kept it pushing. Until one day enough is enough. Because we all have a boiling point. Now, a lot of us, you know, some of us can take more than others. I'm not one of them people that can take a lot. Okay, you got at this point in my journey, you got a couple weeks with me to be on some bullshit, to be quite frank. Because I'm not in the business of wasting time. Okay, and even before my journey, you maybe had a year. Just because I'm understanding. But baby, I don't even got time for that. Okay, you show me some bullshit within the first couple hours, we may not never talk again at this point in my life. But it took me a while to get there, right? That doesn't just happen overnight. You don't just get to that type of point overnight. And even with some connections, like I said, they are beneficial, right? A personal story of mine. I had a friend that I got very close to very, very quickly. And the relationship was absolutely beneficial until it wasn't. Until one day I woke up and it literally was different. Literally, I woke up and the shit was different. Literally. Went to bed one day, something was like this. Woke up the next day, it was a whole complete different story. Right? And I had to learn to let it go. Because the old Poca would have tried to work it out. What's wrong? What's going on? Talk to me. Why? Because I'm the understanding Gemini. Come on, I'm the life coach friend. You know, being a life coach friend, being the advice friend is hard. Because you're very understanding. Being a friend that went through a lot in your childhood, so it made you an understanding adult, it's very hard. Right? Because you understand people so much that you excuse the behavior. And I used to be so understanding and so forgiving because I had abandonment issues and you know, I wanted people to be understanding and forgiving to me, that I would give and give and give and give and give all this understanding, and I didn't even realize I was being taken from energetically, spiritually. Okay? People start talking like me, typing like me, walking like me. It started getting real weird. Okay? So at some point you got to wake up. At some point, you got to wake up. At some point, things have to be different. At some point, you have to choose differently. At some point, you got to say, okay, where things are going ain't good. The way things are moving, it's not working. It ain't shaking the way it used to shake. Right? So you can be with a person and everything goes good for the first 5 years. And then one day it's different. Because when we change energetically, you change energetically. When you no longer are on that vibration, that's it. What can you do? What can you do? You either accept it and do whatever you need to do to adjust your life to this new vibration you are on, because your life adjusts to you. You don't adjust to your life. Key to manifestation. Your life adjusts to your vibration. That's why your vibration is the most important. To stay in a high vibrational energy is very important, because your life will shift to whatever vibration you are on. So if you down here, your life can't be up here. That don't even make no goddamn sense. Right? This is why you have to keep yourself in a high vibration. How do I do that? I keep people around me that are high vibrational. I keep relationships around me that are, mutual. I'm not over giving, period. I'm not giving to everybody and everything. I'm not showing up for everybody and everything. Not all the time. Especially if it's not mutual. The second that you look at a relationship and you see for a consistent amount of time things have not been mutual, you need to say something. Sometimes it can just be a difference in communication. Sometimes that person just don't know that you communicate that way, and you don't know that they communicate that way. Right? Or sometimes it's the fact that y'all just don't align, and you have to be okay with that. We got to stop trying to get to a place where we tell the universe, who is good for us. No, the people that are good for you are going to match your energy. And you got to accept them in the package that they come in. The moment that you get to a place where you feel like people are supposed to look a certain type of way, act a certain type of way, do certain types of things, and they have to come in this specific form, is the moment that you lose. And this is why everybody that you go after based on that mental version that you think is correct fucks up your life. Because the things you've been chasing are not for you. And this is when spirit brings those people into our lives that we connect with, and it's out of nowhere. Because we would have never thought we would have connected to that person, because we allow it to be organic. When you allow yourself to organically connect with people, it'll be a person you never thought. Like, damn, I would have never, if I would have just looked at you, I wouldn't have thought that we would have been this cool. Or I wouldn't have thought that we would get to this point. Right? Some of the best relationships, the longest lasting marriages are the ones where these people didn't even have intentions on being together. They wasn't even trying to date each other. They was just cool. Oh yeah, we just met and we started just going out and having fun, and then all of a sudden I fell in love. And then they in the best relationship of their motherfucking life. When you start to try to tell the universe what physically looks better is when you fuck up. We have become so physical, and everything is energetic. We sit here and we call ourselves gods and empresses and all of these different names, and we forget that we are energy. And energy don't got no fucking face. It ain't no physical being that's walking around with a BBL. Okay? Energy is energy. Purely. We are energetic beings. So we gravitate to each other through our vibrations. Whatever vibration I'm on, that's what I'm going to attract. Who am I to say what form that is supposed to come in? As long as I'm attracting what is good for me, that's all I care about. And that's the place that you have to get to in order to detach. Because a lot of you guys are attached to people because of this picture you've painted in your head of what something is supposed to look like, what something is supposed to feel like. And all of that is based on your trauma. It's based on pain. So you have this false sense of reality. And you're out here chasing things based on that false sense of reality. You're out here holding on to things that do not serve you based on this false sense of reality. You think that the person of your dreams is supposed to come in this specific type of package, and because you're looking for this specific type of package only, because you think that that's who you are, so you think that's what you're supposed to attract, you're attracting all of the wrong shit because you're operating out of the wrong energy. This is why you have to know yourself first, because when you know yourself, the packages you look at are different. When you know yourself, you don't even give a fuck about the package. Because you like, shit, I know whatever's going to come to me is going to be amazing. Because I know who I am. I'm a motherfucking God. All I attract is amazing shit. So it gotta be amazing. I'm not even about to sit here and worry about it. I know the soul tribe that I'm calling in is going to be amazing. Why? Because I'm fucking amazing. I've learned that I am amazing. I've done the work to do the deep diving to know that I am amazing. Okay, I went through all of my childhood traumas, and I went through all of my, not all of it, because healing is forever, right? But I started to go through my traumas. I started to heal. I started to do my work, and I'm realizing that I'm fucking amazing. And the people that I've been choosing are not amazing like I am. That's why knowing yourself, that's why shadow work is so important. Because you start to attract those motherfuckers based on a false sense of reality. You looking in the mirror and you seeing the wrong fucking thing. Period. Okay? It's almost like body dysmorphia. I don't know if y'all ever heard of body dysmorphia. But it's people who look at their bodies and they feel like something is wrong with it. They mentally can look at themselves and they feel like they're in a wrong body. Their body is wrong, whatever. And this is how they was born. How you gonna be in a wrong body and you was born in this body? You wasn't born in this body by mistake, right? But that's how we look at ourselves. We look at ourselves in the mirror and you see, oh, I ain't shit for real. Oh, I'm not as smart as this person, or I'm not as cute as that person, or I'm not as attractive as this person, or I'm not as advanced as this person, or I don't have the stuff that this person has, or I'm not in the place that this person is at my age. I haven't gotten the degrees that this person has, or I'm not living the way the society says that I should be living at this age, and I'm not doing this and da 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 da. You sitting here judging yourself off of things that have nothing to do with you. You have a false sense of self based on society, based on your traumas, based on your pain, based on the things that you've went through. And until you go and you do that work and you peel back them layers, layer by layer, point by point, experience by experience, situation by situation, you're going to continuously be in this cycle of downing yourself, doubting yourself, and being stagnant. And you're going to always encounter people who see the benefits that you actually have, who can see the real you. But who cares if they can see it and you can't? Because you're the only one that can do something with it. The people in your life can say that you're amazing all they fucking want till they blue in the face. But it does not matter if you don't believe it, because you are the only one that can take that thought, take that feeling, take that energy, take that vibration, and transmute it and make it something beautiful and make it something great. Only you can do that for yourself. The people that come into your life can't do that for you. One thing that grinds my gears every time I hear this shit, and I'm going to speak on it every time I hear it, because I don't never want y'all to have no fucked up mentality around me. Okay? You're not going to say Poca said shit. Okay? Stop saying that I can't wait until I'm in a relationship and a person shows me real love. I can't wait until I meet the person who shows me what real love is. I can't wait until I meet the person who changes my life and helps me heal. That's some codependent ass shit. I got an idea to start my business, but the people around me don't think it's a good idea, so now I'm about to question myself. I've been feeling the need to tap in and do this, and that, but I talked to my best friend and she said she don't think that's a good idea, so I'm just not going to do it. What the fuck is the codependent is going on? Some of y'all's trauma is the fear of being alone, the fear of being left, the fear of being walked away from. So because you have that trauma, because you have that fear, you're sitting around and holding yourself and your journey and your process hostage because you're so worried about how other people are going to receive you, or other people's opinions, or you don't even value yourself enough to go with your own motherfucking flow. Can't nobody do the work for you. A person can come in your life and show you true love all they motherfucking want. But until you give yourself true love, you'll never know it. The truest love you will ever have is the love you give to your motherfucking self. And if you're not doing that, then I don't care what type of love you think you have. And for real, most of it is lust. Most of y'all have sexual relationships and connections with people and you're calling it love. Why? Because your first encounter of feelings and high vibrational emotions was sex. So you've always equated sex or sexual energy to love. And that shit is not the fucking same. Just because a nigga can make you nut or come, or a female can make you bust one, don't mean that that bitch is showing you no love or that nigga is loving you down. It is not the fucking same. You have to learn. Because if you do not, you will keep building these false sense of realities in your head and treating these people according to the bullshit that you're feeding yourself. And this is not doing anything but creating detriment in your motherfucking life and creating stagnicity in your process. And you're not going to move forward. You're going to find yourself dating the same type of people or going through the same situations with different energies. The same shit, different face. You can't escape it. Here's a cheater, there's a cheater. Here's a motherfucker that don't love you, here's another motherfucker that don't love you. 2 different motherfuckers, 3 different motherfuckers, 14 different people. You can go and date whoever you want, but you're going to keep attracting that same energy to you. Why? Because you ain't dealt with it yet. And we can only attract what we have inside of us. If you don't have it inside of you, you can't get it. Like I told you, your vibration attracts your life. Your vibration attracts your life and your lifestyle. So you're only going to get what you are. So if that's the recipe, if that's the calculation, then you need to make sure that you are what you want to see. You have to become what you want to receive. If you want love, you got to give yourself love. If I want unconditional love in return, I have to be unconditional towards myself. Point blank the fuck period. There's no way around it. There's no getting around it. There's no side swiping it. No, that's it. If I want to be, have somebody in my life that is loyal to me, then I have to be loyal to myself. What does loyalty look like? Am I doing those things for myself? If loyalty to me is sticking beside me no matter what, do I stick beside myself no matter what? How many times a day do I call myself stupid or dumb, or I can't do this or I can't do that, or I'm never gonna have this, so I'm never gonna have that? That don't sound like loyalty to me. That don't sound like loyalty to me. Am I committed to myself? If I want people to come in my life and be committed to me, right? Because loyalty to me is commitment. That means we committed, we locked in, twin. Have I been locked in with myself? Have I been committed to myself when people come in my life and they treat me any type of way? Did I stand on my motherfucking 10? Did I stand on business in regards to me? So why the fuck do I expect for somebody to come in my life and stand on business in regards to me? I won't even do it. The fastest way of a business spreading or anything good spreading is word of mouth. Right? So if I find me a good old, seafood spot, and I go tell my mama, hey, you gotta go try the seafood spot out. And she go, and then she tell her friend, and then they tell their friend, and they tell their friend. Everybody's gonna come to that seafood spot with the expectation of it being good. Why? Because those people experienced it firsthand, and they came back and they told somebody. That's what's going on in your life. People come into your life and they're taking your advice on you. So if they come into your life and they see you dogging yourself, then they gonna go around and pass the message, hey, we can dog her because she dogs herself. Pass the message, everybody. That's why everybody that comes into your life dog you, because that's the energy you sending out. You basically got a bat signal on the top of your motherfucking energy, shooting from the top of your head that says, dog my ass out. Because that's what I do to myself. So it is okay. Period. So we got to get out of this place where we feel like we have to wait for someone else to come into our lives in order for us to see ourselves or to be ourselves or to find ourselves. It is our job in order to do those things. We have to do those things. We got to sit down and get the job done. We got to go through all of the work, all of the trials and tribulations, all of the motherfucking experiences, all of the downfalls, all of the tears, all of the worry, all of the stress. You have to go through that firsthand so that you know what you're defending. See, when you put skin in the game, you defend yourself different. Yeah, if I've been spending the last 2 years sacrificing, working hard, you think I'm going to let you come in my life and bullshit me? Fuck ass no. Because I did that work. I was the one putting in all them blood, sweat, and tears. So I'm going to defend this bitch a little bit different. Right? It's just like when you have a child. That's your baby. You pushed it out. You carried it for 9 months. You sacrifice for that baby. You get the fuck up out that bed every day for that baby and feed that motherfucker. You ain't gonna let a motherfucking soul come and tell you shit about your baby. Why? Because you put that work in. That's your seed. That's how you gotta look at yourself. I put that work in every day to protect me. I put that work in every day to stay committed to my boundaries. I put that work in every day to heal myself and to work on my triggers and my traumas and to do my motherfucking shit. So you dare not come into my life and think you gonna treat me any type of motherfucking way, bitch. When I've been over here struggling to keep it cute. I got a different energy about myself. But when I wasn't working on myself, I didn't give a fuck. Why? Because I ain't have no skin in the game. I didn't have anything to lose. Now I got shit to lose. Why? Because I did the work to get it. And when you do the work to get that peace, oh baby, you're not gonna let nobody come and just try to fuck with you. Heifer, do you know what I had to do to get this motherfucking peace? Do you know how many nights I had to cry? Do you know how many people I had to cut the fuck off? Do you know how lonely these motherfucking days been for the last couple of months to a couple of years? And you think I'm gonna let you come in here and bullshit me? Fuck no. Because I know how valuable I am now. I did my own work. So now I know my value. So you can't come and half-ass me. You can't come and just try to present me with anything and think I'm just gonna go with it and fall for it and be okay with it. Fuck no. Hell no. Okay? So the first step is to completely detach. And that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part, when you gotta walk away. Right? If you gotta find a middleman, you gotta find a middleman. If they gotta drop the baby off at your mama house and then you come to your mama house and get the baby, then that's what you gotta fucking do. If you gotta go to that motherfucking court and get some shit in writing, then that's what the fuck you gotta do. If you gotta move to a different city or state, that's what you gotta do. If you gotta sleep on somebody's couch for a little bit, that's what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. And you gotta be willing to sacrifice. It's not gonna be easy. See, a lot of y'all want this process to just be easy so you don't have to feel it. You know, we be like, okay, I felt enough. You know, I've been in pain long enough. I've had enough experiences. I done been through enough. I'm over it. I just want it to be easy. But no, when you digging yourself out of a hole, why the fuck would it be easy? Why would it be easy to dig yourself up out some shit that done had you trapped for the last couple months to the last couple of years? Why would that be easy, my love? It's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. Why? Because you find the value in doing the work. If everything came to you easily, you wouldn't value it. If you were born in, amongst a whole bunch of diamonds in a cave, and you walk up out that cave and you see diamonds at a store, you're not gonna be impressed. Bitch, I was born around diamonds. That's not impressive. Right? But if you weren't born around them motherfuckers and you had to work your ass off and you see a diamond in the store and you able to purchase it, I bet you that shit mean a fucking lot. Because you didn't have that. And you worked to get it. You know what you had to go through in order to get to that place. So there's a different value there. When you value yourself, no matter how hard detachment is, it's possible. No matter how much it hurts, you're going to do it. Because you know what's at risk. You know what's on the line. You know what you are risking at this point. You know what you can lose. I can lose a lot now. I done did so much work on myself. I can lose so much if I take just one step in a certain direction. If I just allow myself to have one negative thought about a certain thing, baby, I could go back about 6 months. Easy. So now you know how hard I'm going to defend not going back to that place? I'm going to defend it with my whole life because I know how much I'll lose. And then I also know what I have to do to get back to that point. And I don't want to go back through all of that again. I don't want to do all that again. Why would I want to go and do that shit over? Right? A lot of y'all repeat cycles because you ain't did the work the first time. When you do the work, you're not going to want to repeat that cycle. Oh, no. You're going to avoid that motherfucker with your life. Fuck no. When you do the work and you finally get out of something, you're not going to, what? The moment something smell like it's going to put you back there, you going to run. The moment that energy feel just for a second like it's familiar to that situation, you're going to get the fuck. Because you know what you had to do to stay away from it and to not, engage in that energy anymore. So you're going to hold yourself to a different standard. You're going to sacrifice. You're going to become more aware. This is why the more you work on yourself, the more you become aware of the shit in your life that's not for you. Because you have more to lose. So now the things that didn't stick out before, sticking out like a sore fucking thumb. It's loud. That's why when you start tapping into your spirituality, you start seeing people differently. Certain relationships just dwindle away because they see you differently too. They see you differently too. When I first started tapping in seriously and getting consistent, the people in my family was like, oh, damn, you changed. You acting different. Okay, I see that you're not doing this no more. What? You not, what? They were surprised. It was certain little things I just wouldn't do. They're like, what? Certain people didn't want to be friends with me no more. They didn't want to be around me no more because my energy was different. We couldn't resonate no more. We wasn't on the same page. Those were trauma bonds. So because I moved up energetically, they were still down here. We no longer are aligning. That's why you got to learn to let shit go. Because when you are no longer aligned with people and then you go and you chase them down, this is what you're doing. Okay? You're literally limiting yourself. You're going down, taking a nosedive in order to try to make it work with somebody who don't want to move up. Come on now. I'm going to risk all of the work I did to come down to your motherfucking level instead of making you either come up and meet me or we just can't connect no more. Simple. Why are we trying to lower our vibration so that we can keep it cute with motherfuckers who we ain't never needed to keep it cute with in the first place? Spirit is purposely taking these people out your life and you running around chasing their ass. Ain't that the craziest shit you done ever heard in your life? It's like the trash man coming to collect your garbage and you run the trash man down and you running behind the trash truck because you not ready to let your trash go. Y'all ever seen hoarders? You see how them people lose their fucking minds because they got to throw that shit away. And then they go in there and they see how their house look without all that shit in there. And then they happy that they threw that shit away. That's called trust in the process. That's how your life look. It's like hoarders. A lot of us are emotional hoarders. A lot of us are we hoard memories. We hoarding experiences. We're hoarding energies. We're hoarding all of these different things. And we are so attached to it because it's made us comfortable for so long. I be looking at them people in hoarders like, it's mice running around and roaches and it's dirty. But them people have made that their comfort zone. That's all they've known for the last couple of years or however many decades. That's all they fucking know. So they can't even imagine going into their house and not seeing all that shit. And the person from the outside looking in is like, ugh. But because they're so used to that, because that's all they know, they don't know no different. They don't see it as anything wrong. Right? But once people come in there and they help them and they assist them and they pack that shit up and they get that shit up out of there and they fix up the house, them people walking in, they be so motherfucking happy. They don't miss that trash at all. Why? Because now they see who they really are. They had a false sense of self based on whatever they went through. They thought that the trash was them. The trash was never them. And a lot of y'all see yourselves as trash. So that's why you keep allowing trash in your environment. I'm already trash. So why not keep a couple trash bags around? I already feel like I ain't shit. So why not keep a couple shitty ass buckets around? Why not? We smell the same. I stink. It stink. We all just need to be around each other. But the thing is, you're not supposed to stink. So the first time you wash your ass after stinking for that long, you don't want to stink no more. Because now you realize, oh shit, this is what normal really is. This is how shit is supposed to feel, supposed to smell, supposed to look like. It's only until that point that you realize you get a taste of what reality actually is. You get a taste of who you actually are. And you continue to chase that until you get to a place where you completely are different. You have completely evolved. You have completely changed. And now you can level up. Okay? So the first step of detachment is to completely walk away. That's the first step. Block, remove, you move, make them move, get the fuck, delete the app, do whatever you need to do. Cut off all communication. That's the first step. The second step is to spend your time wisely. Idle time or an idle mind is the devil's playground. When you sitting around and you not working on shit, doing shit, all you can think about is the shit that you lost. When you don't got no forward movement, when you're not keeping your mind busy, when you're not occupying your time with something, then of course all you're gonna be thinking about is the very thing that you had to leave or leave behind or whatever the case is. So you need to do something constructive with your time. This is when you need to get into your healing, get into your shadow work, get into your books, get into your lectures, learn something, tackle a job, a career, go back to school, do something with your time that is constructive. Because the more time you're spending on yourself to grow yourself, to build yourself, the less time you're worried about whatever that thing is or that person is. Now, as I'm saying this, of course, this is not going to happen overnight. You can spend your time doing a lot of shit. It don't mean that you may not think about this person every now and again, or miss this person, or miss this thing, or whatever the case is. It doesn't mean that. It just means that you want to have to keep reminding yourself what the priority is. And you also have to keep reminding yourself what you are risking every time you go backwards. Every time you slip up and you go back to this person, or you slip up and you let this energy back in, you are risking a lot. You're risking your future. That person that you see yourself being in the future, that is what you're risking. Okay? I'm gonna give you an exercise that helps to keep your mind focused. This is called my future self. This is an exercise that I do with my mentorships. Okay? What you're gonna do is you're gonna take about 5 minutes to close your eyes, and you're gonna visualize the way that you see yourself in the future. I don't care what it is, but you need to visualize it in detail. Can you see what you're wearing? Can you see what you're driving? Can you see where you're living? Can you see what you're doing? Can you see the hairstyle? Can you see the makeup? Can you see the outfit? Can you see the event? Can you see yourself pulling up in front of the house? You need to be able to see it. Okay? And you sit there for them whole 5 minutes and force yourself to see it. And really, really force yourself to see it in as many details as possible. After them 5 minutes is up, write down everything that you saw detail for detail. And put that piece of paper somewhere that you always got to look at. Whether it's on a mirror, okay? I love me a mirror, so I'm always looking at mirrors. So I get Sharpies, not Sharpies, but dry erase markers, and I write stuff on mirrors. It's helpful. So you can either stick it on a mirror, you can write it on your mirror, you can put it on your bed or beside your bed, on your coffee table, your nightstand, anywhere that you always have to place your eyes. You can write it in your notes, screenshot it, and put it as your phone screen. Okay? Do something or put it somewhere where you know you have to look at it on a daily basis. And every time that you feel like you want to go backwards, every time you feel like you don't want to do this shit no more, every time you get mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually drained, tired, and you want to just give up, that is your reminder. Okay? If you got children, include your children in that my future self. What are my children doing? Period. Okay? Do I see myself in a however many bedroom house and all my babies got a room and a bed and a this and a that? Be very detailed, because this is what you are, chasing in a sense. This is the goal. And if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. If you don't have that reminder, if you don't have something reminding you of where you're trying to go, you're never going to really put the press on it to get there. Okay, so you have to find different ways to motivate yourself. That's an exercise that should help. Hopefully this video helped. Remember, you can come back and watch these videos as many times as you need to. Again, I do have life coaching and mentoring specials that are available. If you are ready to start your healing, if you need some assistance, if you don't know where to start, if you need some tools, some exercises, or anything else that can help, please make sure that you reach out. I have a lot of services available, and I'm doing a lot of specials for the holiday season, so definitely make sure that you reach out. My shadow work guide is also available on Amazon. So if you want to, get started on the process by yourself, then I would definitely suggest getting this guide. It's not a very long guide, but it's very detailed, and it's really good for those who are beginning or those who want to get back to being consistent. You can really complete this guide within a month, and you can buy it as many times as you want. You can redo it as many times as you want. You can take the exercises and continue to use them even after the guide is completed. I also have a I am affirmations journal that is also available for those who need to keep up with speaking to themselves in a high vibrational way, talking to themselves in a high vibrational way, and all of that. Staying consistent with, the verbiage that you're using, and the way that you see yourself, the way that you are communicating with yourself is very important. Also, again, on the 21st of November, I will be doing a 3-hour birth chart and zodiology seminar. I'll be touching on how to read your zodiac, your zodiac and your birth chart. I'll also be going through all of the 12 zodiac signs so you guys can get a better understanding of each sign and how those signs may play a part in your personal chart. Free birth charts are available with this service or with this seminar. It is only $35, and again, it is available. It is happening on the 21st of November at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is via Zoom. Okay, so it is virtual. So no matter where you are, you can tune in if you are interested, okay? So hopefully, again, y'all got something from this. I will see y'all tomorrow for our Think Tank Thursdays. Make sure, again, that you like, share, comment, and subscribe if you're watching from YouTube. Turn on your notifications. Same thing with Facebook. Make sure that you like, share, and comment on this video. Share your thoughts with me in the comments if anything resonated, if it makes sense. If this was helpful, let me know so I can know to do more topics like this. If you guys have any other ideas of topics that you want me to cover, shoot me an inbox message or an email and let me know. I'm always looking for new topics and new things to kind of speak on. I feel like I speak, have spoken on a lot of stuff. So I don't really be thinking of certain things because I feel like I already talked about it. But if it's something that you didn't hear me talk about, whether I think I talked about it or not, I have no problem going over it or doing another video on it to kind of update the information. So if there's anything else, any other topics y'all can think of, definitely make sure that y'all reach out and let me know. Other than that, make sure you go check out the Topic Tuesdays from yesterday, as well as the Message Mondays that was regarding the new moon in Scorpio. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Be safe. Take heed to what I said and make sure that you're detaching from things that no longer serve you.